Hi, this is Gretchen Martins with Practice Partners Collective, and I want to tell you a little bit about our community. From the external facing world, we're working to bridge research and practice for stronger schools. So, helping to provide principals and district staff and superintendents with the evidence-based research they need to make good decisions to improve schools, but provided by practitioner scholars, people that really understand what it's like to work in schools. And from the community perspective, what we're really providing is a safe harbor. We're not creating a consulting group. We're creating a community of practitioner scholars committed to improving education. Consulting is simply one way that that work reaches the people who need it the most. And I'm going to walk you through what that means in just a few minutes. So first, we are a supportive peer community of practice. And what that means is that we're building this container. After your dissertation is done, do you have a practice group to learn from and to share ideas? And we hear from a lot of people that they leave their doctoral cohort, they leave a PLC or a NIC, and they don't feel like they have that community to support them in their own learning and growth and bringing the work into the world. And then there's an issue of cross-pollination. What happens when you have an idea for a collaborative project? Do you have a thought partner? Do you know who to reach out to, who to bring onto a team if you're going after a consulting gig or an RFP or a conference presentation? There's also an issue of word of mouth referrals, and this kind of comes from the business world, but who shares your name? And who do you know? And this came up recently in talking to a former client of mine from the Scholars Coach, and she's extremely passionate and knowledgeable about how we help students learn to solve word problems in math. So let's say that you're out and about and you're talking to someone, they're like, oh my gosh, I have this problem. And we've really identified that, our fourth graders, our seventh graders are just not able to master word problems in math, and that's impacting test scores. Do you know who to refer them to? And in the same sense, you have your own expertise, and are people out there thinking about sharing your name with the people that they know? So this is very much a business approach, but I think it's very consistent with education because we tend to work collaboratively. We tend to work in partnerships. And then something else that the collective is designed to do is to provide consistent support. And you'll learn a little bit more about that in a minute, but monthly group strategy calls and peer-led masterminds and ways to get to know the other people in the collective. So where this comes from, this part of the vision for the collective, is some things that we've heard people say consistently over the years. I miss the camaraderie and thought partnership I had with my dissertation cohort in a professional learning circle or through a networked improvement community. We've heard people say things like, I want my research experience and hard-earned wisdom to reach the educators who need it the most. And I'm not content to have it live in some digital archive or to get brought up in casual conversations. People who really believe that the best ideas emerge through collaboration rather than competition. And then finally, people that see themselves, as many educators do, as lifelong learners, as teachers and coaches, and as servant leaders. So we provide a supportive peer community of practice, but what does that look like in the actual practice of practicing? Well, one, our monthly conversations focused on building business assets. It might be a consulting business. It could be getting into conferences. It could be getting speaking engagements. And then how we serve as educators, right? Peer masterminds organized around shared interests and areas of expertise. So the people that we've talked to already about participating in the collective bring amazing wealth of experience in really diverse areas, English language learners and instructional leadership and MTSS and students with disabilities and urban education, right? The list just goes on and on. Thought partnership that provides encouragement, accountability, and fresh perspective. So how often have you maybe done a conference presentation or written an article and you'd really like another set of eyes on, or you want to do a conference presentation or write an article or pursue a consulting gig in partnership with other really amazing people. And then resource sharing. So practical tools and research and opportunities like RFPs and conference presentations, and also introductions to people. Maybe you're looking for that person who really understands and is passionate about solving word problems in math, and you're looking for those people. So this is a way that we support each other. Another way is pursuing collaborative projects. So, articles, books, conference presentations, professional learning, research, RFPs, and consulting opportunities. There's also a conversation about using the website as a speakers bureau for conferences, for media interviews, for podcasters who do podcasts in education. And then there are what's called earned media opportunities, things like alumni newsletters and your local media. And so, however amazing you are, or any of us are as individuals, there's power in the collective. So, if you think about sending something for your local alumni magazine and you say, hey, I'm starting a consulting practice, you're probably not going to get a lot of traction because every month, dozens, if not hundreds of people in your alumni network are starting consulting practices. And the same with your local media, but if you send something that says, oh, there are 20 of us so concerned about education that we're pulling together a collective, right? Um, Practice Partners Collective, all of a sudden that's a whole different level of intent, a whole different level of commitment. Collaborative offerings. So it's very popular in a lot of areas to do online conferences where everyone presents for 45 minutes over several days. We've already set up a YouTube channel, so this is an opportunity for you to put up individual videos, to do collaborative videos, panel style presentations, and also be very easy to set up a collective podcast. And then, of course, there's your idea here. So maybe you're someone who's always loved the idea of having a podcast in education. Well, you can join the collective, and guess what? You have lots of podcast guests already lined up. So those are some of the ideas we have right now for what this looks like in practice, acknowledging that this is going to be very open, that people are going to come with ideas. And then the question is, how can we support that? How can we support your vision of what you'd like to do? The founding advisory board. So the first 10 founding members are people who have the opportunity to help to craft the vision, the mission, the goal statements for the collective, to help to shape the story of why. Why are we doing this? To inform website style and content. And again, your ideas here. And let's be honest, if we have, 11 people sign up on the same day, fine, then the founding members become 11 people. But we're looking at a small advisory board that can really help us to shape the vision for the members who are, ideally going to be joining in the future. There's something that comes really from the business world about community or brand value. And I think what's really hard for a lot of people that collect paychecks is to think about themselves as entrepreneurs, as business owners, and then to make that transition from educator to business owner. So these are some business terms that are very relevant if you want to bring your work out into the world in a bigger way. So one is brand reputation. So you can be awesome, I can be awesome, but as a solopreneur, you're one person. And when you're part of an educated, curated collective, there's reputation by association. And personally, that's why I'm so excited that Chris stepped into leadership here, because he's not only a practitioner in education, he was an assistant superintendent, but he's now at NYU, a very prestigious university. And so that helps to create a context where people's visibility, their perceived reputation is built collaboratively. There's something called brand visibility. So you're not just promoting your brand, we're promoting this brand as a collective, but with all the members also cross promoting that out. So that creates much bigger brand visibility. And why this matters. If you watch the part where Meet Gretchen, like, why the heck is she starting this? You'll find out that I founded a veteran serving nonprofit, and through partnerships and collaborations, the nonprofit went from concept to brand visibility in 35 states in 2 years. That didn't happen accidentally. It happened by working collaboratively with other people to promote this brand. And then there's referred trust and accountability. You're being referred by people that know you, and you're being referred to people who trust them. So if someone comes to me and they're like, oh, Gretchen, I need this, and I say, oh, I know just the person, that person that I'm going to pass your name to with your permission knows me. They may have 5, 10 years of experience with me. And so the fact that I'm referring you or Chris is referring you helps to build your accountability and trust in the eyes of someone who's never met you before. And then there's this issue, which we touched on a minute ago, with more effective storytelling. This compelling, authentic story of why a group of educators who are very busy with their day-to-day jobs and their families and their lives and what's going on in the world decided to make a commitment to pull together to start this collective. So there's a real value in that as opposed to doing it by yourself. Other founding member benefits, and this is just how I work. I have, let's call it a diverse portfolio of things that I do, and I tend to cross-pollinate those. So for members of the collective, you're going to get a discount on my editing services and book publishing packages because I have a small independent publishing company. You're going to get a free seat in your book as strategy, which is a very different perspective on publishing books that looks at how do books accelerate a consulting practice, or something that you're passionate about in the world, or that leaves a legacy. I'm also, some of you may know, a professionally trained coach with 25 years of experience. So you get discounts on what I call threshold intensives and coaching packages. And this is very much a side hustle, but it's very much my passion project, is I'm a holistic healer. So I actually have some coaching clients that we alternate between traditional coaching, spiritual companioning, and holistic healing based on what they need, based on what they want. Discounts for other offerings. So I have, just as an example, a friend who's a real expert. Her entire business is built on helping people promote their LinkedIn profile and to build their brand through LinkedIn. So I'm in conversation with her about, hey, would you ever be willing to do a workshop? Would you be willing to do a discount on your services for people that are members of the collective? The other piece, and this we talk about more in the technology video, a lot of people don't have websites. And it used to be back in the day that you needed a business card, and now you need a website, and ideally you need a book to establish your professional credibility. So without going into all the technology wonkiness, there is a way, if you own your domain name or you buy your domain name, to redirect that to your professional profile page, which is also in another video, designed for you business cards that you can just get a template that you take to your local Staples or Office Max or whoever you do business with. Or, my preference is always Vistaprint because they just do much better quality. Upload it to there and order your business cards. And that can be for your personal brand. It can be for the collective. And that's something, in the video that we talk about your professional profile page, we talk about the onboarding process and me learning your goals and what you're trying to accomplish. So we'll figure out what makes sense for you. So I think the big question of the collective is always imagine what becomes possible when you pursue your work in community. So you can get to the Practice Partners Collective webpage in two ways. There's a bit.ly 44VEPF EPFZ, or you can go to the scholarscoach.com, which is my academic writing and editing business that's been around for a decade now. And there's now a tab for the collective, which will take you there. Feel free to schedule a conversation with me or with Chris. He's going on vacation soon, but the website tells you how to get in touch with us. If you're really interested, there's on the website a founding member commitment pledge, which you can sign up for by August 14th. This reserves your space if we have more than 20 people interested. And of course, invite your colleagues. This is, if you remember back to your dissertation and purposeful sampling and snowball sampling, you've probably been invited here because Chris or I know you and we thought you'd be a great fit. Absolutely invite your colleagues to attend. This is not meant to be exclusive in that sense. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching the video, and we will be back with you soon.